Hey guys, so let me ask you a question. Are you the type of person that presses the elevator door a billion times? I've been that person many times in my life. But are you that person? If you are that person, I have something I want to share with you that hopefully will help you. Let's talk about it. Welcome to another episode of Career Strategies. My name is Rodney Hughes, Mr. 100%. Today's episode is being brought to you by Interview Prep University. If you have an upcoming telephone, video, or face-to-face interview and you want to be best prepared for that interview, this is a 100% free virtual training platform. Doesn't cost you anything, all right? You don't have to sign up for anything. And what this course is going to teach you is the things you need to do to exponentially improve your job interview skills. So if you want to have an advantage, go ahead and head on over to www.interviewprepuniversity.com. Again, that's www.interviewprepuniversity.com. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this. Let's dive into the topic. So, are you the type of person that presses the elevator door or button a billion times before it comes? See, if you are that person, we all either know that person or we all at some point have been that person. It is absolutely asinine when you step back and think about it, right? Like, dude, if the elevator, let's say you walk into a 50-story building. If that elevator is on the 50th floor, it don't matter how many times you press that button, it's not going to make the elevator come to your floor faster. You see how that works? See, here's the reality. I'm gonna tell you a secret. Did you know that you could press that button one time and it'll come just as fast? Did you know that? Many times in my life, I didn't realize that. Or I chose not to acknowledge that or think about that. Now, what does this have to do with career success at all? I know you're thinking, you're like, dude, this dude's episode or this dude's podcast is about career strategies. What does someone pressing the elevator button a billion times have to do with someone's career? Follow me. Let me start with me. I always want to start with me because, again, I think I've said this before. Anytime you hear me speaking on this podcast, just know that I am usually talking to myself first. You understand? Anybody who really knows me knows that I am one of the most impatient people in the world. Now, that might be a little bit of an exaggeration. Okay? Maybe I'm not the most impatient person, but anybody who knows me, truly knows me, will tell you that I am a very impatient person. Okay? And I've just about always been that way. And as a matter of fact, you know how like when you go through a job interview process, you know, it's almost as if they always ask this question: what would you consider your greatest weakness? I have always said that my greatest weakness is patience. I'm a very impatient person. It just is what it is. And one of the things I always say in, when it comes to answering that question in an interview, because I always believe in spinning it back positive, I always say that I'm a very impatient person. I don't say I'm a very impatient person. I say my biggest weakness is that I can tend to be impatient. But that's kind of a gift and a curse, because on one hand, I'm impatient, and because I'm so impatient, a lot of times I end up getting real frustrated in processes. I'm always in a constant state of like stress, not unbearable stress, but I'm definitely always in a state of some type of stress. But on the positive side, on the gift side, because I'm so impatient, I oftentimes will accomplish goals a lot faster than a lot of other people. All right, because I'm constantly applying pressure in my own head. You understand? Because of my impatient nature. Okay. Now, but here's what I want you to understand. And the older I become, the more I'm starting to just really come to grips with this. Okay. You cannot cheat the process. Let me say it again. You cannot cheat the process. See, when you see somebody go up to an elevator and they're pressing that button a million times, they know on a conscious and intellectual level that no matter how many times they press that freaking button, that elevator ain't coming down no faster. You understand? It's not gonna be like, oh my God, who is this pressing this button? I better hurry up and just skip past these other ones and go on down there as fast as possible. Don't work that way. Right? So anytime I see somebody do that, I kind of chuckle a little bit because I've been that person many a times. I've literally done that. I've literally sat there and been like, tap, 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 tap. It's crazy. It's madness. But like I said, the older I get, the more I'm realizing that patience really is a virtue. You understand that? And by the way, what makes patience a virtue is because it really comes by way of wisdom. Or in my opinion, that's the way when I take a step back, because I'm always the type of person who likes to take a step back and kind of pay attention. And the people that I know that seem to be the most patient are typically older people, right? I'll never forget my dad told me a story about that's kind of fuck it, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. So I'm gonna tell you a story that my dad told me, right? He was like, son, you got the old bull and the young bull, okay? The old bull and the young bull are coming up over a hill. And when they get to the top of the hill, they look down the hill and there's a whole bunch of cows down there. And the young bull starts getting excited. And the young bull is like, man, let's run down there and get some of these cows. Man, I want some of these cows right now, right? And he was all excited and like, we're gonna run down here and get them. Come on, old bull. And the old bull was like, calm down, young bull, calm down. Why run down the hill and you may get one or two cows when you can walk down the hill and get as many cows as you like? Now, I tried to make that as PG as possible, okay? But it's a story that my dad taught me a long time ago. And it was really about patience. You understand? About taking your time, right? And that when you're constantly in this impatient mind state, you end up actually missing out on a lot of different opportunities. Okay? And so, but I think there's a balance to it though. Okay? I really do think there's kind of an art to patience, because the thing is you don't want to go to the extreme on that end as well. You don't want to be so patient that you end up missing out on other opportunities as well. You understand? And so it really is like an art to it. It's not really a science. You understand? But patience is important. Okay? It's important that you understand that there are certain things in life that will require patience. There is no way around it. There's a process that has to take place. As an example, right? I don't care how eager you may be to have a baby. The average gestational period is 9 months. Period. okay, to have a healthy baby, it is known that the average gestational period is 9 months. It just is what it is, right? So if you're in month 2 and you're like, I just want the baby to get here now and be healthy, it don't matter how much you wish for it, hope for it, pray for it. None of that matters. It's going to take 9 months in order for that baby to be at a healthy status to come into this world. That's what the gestational period is all about. And you got to understand that you got to have patience throughout that period, right? If you want it to be done and you want it to be done right, and you want to have a healthy baby, that's just the length of the process, right? So to want it to happen much faster, in some ways could be viewed as a foolish way of thinking. Okay? Well, the same thing applies in your career. Again, for me as a very impatient person, a lot of times, man, I get on myself really hard. And then I have to always remind myself that, hey, number one, don't compare yourself or your situation to anyone else's. The other thing I always have to keep in mind is that, you know what? Some things take time. Okay? It really does. And when you get started down a new path, understand that it may take time. Okay? When you look at people that have a successful career, right? They didn't start off having a successful career. They built up a successful career, right? So for instance, as an executive recruiter, many of the roles that I work on are high-level roles, right? So regardless of how smart you are coming fresh out of college, I don't care if you had a 7.0, which it ain't even possible that I'm aware of. But even if you had a 7.0, like you did so well on every one of your tests, you had absolutely perfect scores, okay? That's what I mean when I say 7.0. You had absolute perfect scores. You did everything at a phenomenal, extraordinary level. When you, I don't care, and if you graduated from the top school in the world, when you come fresh out of college, for the most part, there's no reputable company in America that's going to let you come straight in as a director. I don't care how brilliant you are. I don't care how many exams you aced. Okay? How many internships you went on. None of that matters. Okay? When it comes to reputable companies, you're not going to come fresh out of college and move into a director level position with all the responsibility that comes with that level in any reputable company. It just doesn't work that way. And to tie it into this example of pressing the elevator button. So if you're fresh out of college and you apply to 1 million different director level roles at reputable companies, you're gonna get 1 million different rejections. That's all you're gonna do. Why? Because you're trying to bypass the process. Just like this person that presses that elevator button 1 million times. You're trying to bypass the process of that elevator getting from wherever it is to your floor. In some weird kind of way, you think that by pressing that button more times, it's going to speed the process up. And it ain't. It ain't gonna happen. You understand? So what I want you to take from this podcast is that everything is a process and everything has its own time. Okay? And the key is you got to have the patience and the understanding to know that in due time, if you remain consistent and diligent in your career, you will get any success that you strive for. Any success that you seriously desire and seriously strive for, you will get it in due time. But you cannot cheat the process. Okay? You can't cheat it. You know, when somebody is an expert in their field, right? See, unfortunately, nowadays, you got a lot of people that raise their hand and claim that they're an expert, but they don't really got no experience. You know? And so therefore, if you ask them some questions, they can't, or if you ask them very pointed questions, oftentimes they cannot articulate, you know, effectively at that level because they don't really have any experience. You understand? That's why somebody that has a tremendous amount of experience will always be valued more than somebody who just has education, than somebody who has just operated in a educational environment. See, it don't take much to read a book. It don't take much to go to a seminar. It don't take much to listen to a lecture. It don't take much to do all that. You just show up, and if you got a great memory, you can spit it back out. You understand? But experience though, right? Like if I'm sitting in front of somebody who was a Rhodes Scholar, right? And next to him is a person who didn't even graduate from high school, but that person became a millionaire. And both of these people are talking about the same topic. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna listen to the guy who didn't graduate. If that person was able to if that person did not graduate from high school and was able to, through experiences, create a multi-million-dollar successful business, I will hands down listen to that person way faster than I'll listen to the Rhodes Scholar. And why? Not because I don't value the Rhodes Scholar's opinion, but I'm going to listen to this person first because this person has the experiences. This person paid the price. This person went into the real world and executed and did not bypass the process and did not just read something and say, oh, I got it now and I understand it now. This person went and applied things in the real world and got experiences. They didn't bypass the process, right? And that's why I listen to that person first. Now, I'm the type of person, I feel like as though I can learn from anybody. So I'm open to hearing out anybody. Doesn't mean I'm gonna always listen to it. Don't mean I'm gonna always, take what somebody says and run with it, right? I actually question a lot of stuff, no matter who I'm talking to, okay? And because I'm a thinking man, right? And I would encourage you to be a thinking man or a thinking woman, because that's the problem nowadays. So many people don't think, right? See, and by the way, since we're talking about thinking, if you were a thinker, you would understand that you can't bypass the process. And that's why I love that book by Malcolm Gladwell, The Outlier, because essentially that book is mostly about, or the main thing that book is known for, let's put it that way. The main thing that book is known for is essentially talking about how you can't cheat the process. When it comes to greatness, you can't cheat the process. The core theme that I remember from that book is them saying that you have to put, if you want to become world class, you have to put in at least 10,000 hours. That's right, at least 10,000 hours. And they gave examples of Bill Gates and how Bill Gates put in the 10,000 hours. They gave examples of the Beatles and how the Beatles, put in more than 10,000 hours before they ever came to the United States and became this huge, outrageously successful group. They put in the 10,000 hours. And why is it so important? Because again, greatness takes time. You understand? It don't matter how much. Listen, if you practice, every single day for a month, yeah, you'll be good for sure. But you can't compare to somebody who has practiced every single day for 10 years. You understand? Somebody who's practiced every single day for 10 years, they should be better than you. Why? Because they didn't cheat the process, right? They took the time to invest in their craft over a long, extended period of time. Again, the thing I want you to understand about this, you cannot cheat the process. And if you keep that in mind, okay, and you have some patience, but not just the type, I'm not talking about the type of patience where you're not doing nothing, right? I want you to have assertive patience, meaning I want you to assert yourself. I want you to be doing stuff towards accomplishing your dreams, towards, pushing towards the goals that you have in mind from a career perspective. I want you to be aggressively and assertively pushing towards those things, but I also want you to have patience, right? I don't want you to be pushing so hard because I don't want you to be pushing with the mindset that you can cheat the process. You understand? I want you to be pushing from a position of, yep, I'm gonna put the work in, and one day I'll be positioned to have the success that I want to have because I put the work in, I didn't cheat the process, and I made things happen, right? But I don't want you to be that person that's gonna be like pressing that elevator button a billion times, thinking that things are gonna happen faster than they're supposed to happen. Okay? In due time, things will happen the way they need to happen if you do the work and if you position yourself the proper way. And that's based on a true story. Now, listen, let me ask you this. Do you know what the biggest challenge is you're going to face in your career? Do you? Most people are oblivious to this. And I feel as though people aren't paying attention to what's going on out in the world at this point. The biggest challenge you're going to face in your career is competition. Flat out competition. Okay? It was something else before the internet, by the way. Okay, I don't know exactly what it was, but I believe it was something else before the internet. But once the internet came on the scene and the masses started using the internet, and companies started realizing that you could go on the internet and find talent easily. I'm telling you right here, right now, as we speak, the competition is absolutely fierce. When you apply for a job in your local area, I think that people think that they are just competing against people in the local area. I need you to understand that you are literally competing against people all around the world. There are people all around the world who can see the opportunity that you think is a good opportunity, and there are people all around the world who are applying for those roles. So if you think an opportunity is a great opportunity, I promise you there's at least 100 other people out here who feel the exact same way. And now you're no longer just competing with the people in your city. You're competing with people around the world. So right now as we speak, the competition is fierce. But follow me. Over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years, it's gonna get absolutely insane from a competition perspective. See, right now, mostly who you're competing against are still people. But I need you to understand, they are trying to replace your ass. Do you understand this? I want you to understand it. They are trying to replace your ass. I don't care what field you are in. Okay? Technology is advancing at such a rapid pace, it is ridiculous. Okay? So over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years, once technology truly catches up, it's gonna be insane. Right? I am old enough to remember when very few people had a cell phone. Now everybody's walking around for the most part with freaking computers in their hand. Everybody has a cell phone now. That's dang near as powerful or more powerful than most computers were 10, 15 years ago. Here's what I want you to understand. Your number one challenge is going to be competition. And here's the deal. The people who are going to experience the most pain as this competition problem continues to increase are the people who do not know how to strategically beat out and eliminate their competition. So let me ask you a question. Do you know how to strategically eliminate your competition? Well, here's the deal. I wrote a book entitled The Ugly Truth About Getting Hired: How to Land the Job of Your Dreams Regardless of the Competition. This book is all about solving that problem. This book is designed to teach you a step-by-step system for exponentially improving your odds of eliminating most of your competition and being able to strategically position yourself as the ideal candidate of choice, assuming that you have the technical skills that job requires. If you have the technical skills, this book is designed to show you how you can position yourself as the ideal candidate of choice with ease. If you'd like to learn the strategies that I share in this book, head over to my website, www.theuglytruthbook.com. Again, it's www.theuglytruthbook.com. I truly believe this at my core. This book, if you take it, if you read it, if you understand it and really dive into the content, this book could potentially be the single greatest investment that you've ever made in your career. I truly believe that. Okay? Or you cannot learn what's in this book, take your chances, and hey, watch what happens over the next few years. Hey, it's your choice. All right? Again, that website, www.theuglytruthbook.com. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, like this episode and share it on your social media platforms. Share it with other people. Other people need to hear it. And I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.